Hi, this video is about unstructured and widely variant data, the hidden gold mine for AI in your organization. My name is David Hood, and I'm CEO of 42 Robots AI, and we help organizations implement AI. And there's a few videos that I'll link to below that I think are very relevant to this. So first, let me explain to you what I mean by unstructured and widely variant. These are very intentionally chosen words to describe data that either when it comes in and it doesn't have like already a pre-built structure on it. It's not in like a table. Maybe it's disorganized, or if you have 1,000 different documents, there's dozens of different formats it could be in, versus also widely variant. This is not referring specifically to structure, but more, let's say there's different ways to say the same thing, or there's like a category of information you have that has a very that you're interested in, that has a wide, long tail, a very big long tail of like exceptions, and just there's like almost unlimited different not formats, but values for that data. This kind of data, there is just so much of it out there, and there's so much opportunity, and it is either getting under leveraged or it's getting very expensively leveraged. So under leveraged in that the data is there for an organization and they're not utilizing it, or they're paying human labor a bunch of money to leverage it. Well, both of these can be fixed with AI, and that's what this video is about. And chances are, if you are part of any organization of any significant size, even of pretty small sizes, that there is a gold mine of opportunity here. So first, let me just talk about how what the new state of processing data is, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about what that means in a second. Processing is super broad, but basically, and to be clear, this is my experience before the modern LLMs came out, and I spent a lot of time and energy processing data with code. And when the new LLMs came out, I felt like a kid in a candy store with regards to these new amazing tools that, in my opinion, enable new orders of magnitude, orders plural, so 100x plus of data processing efficiency. So being able to do 100, 1,000, 10,000 times more data processing faster than you could with a single human. And this can save skilled worker time, because a lot of times the people actually processing this data are very high skilled. They're paid a lot. They require a lot of training, and so they're very expensive. And then sometimes this can just enhance skilled worker time. So it's not that they do it, but it's expensive. It's that they can't do it for all sorts of reasons. It's just not feasible for them to do what you can now do with AI. And again, like being able to do new things. Part of this is just quantity has its own quality. So for example, the ability to fly versus walk someplace, it enables new things. You know, there's just things that couldn't be done before when we had to just walk or ride a horse, right? There's places we can go. There's situations we can put ourselves in that just couldn't be done with old school travel things. The same is true and going to be true with data processing, and then the major level up that has happened just in the last few years. And what I'm talking about here, and this seems to be lost on a lot of people talking about how to do this stuff, I'm not talking about, well, you can use this directly with chatbots, so like ChatGPT or Claude directly on their website. What I'm talking about, and the much more effective way to do this, is put this within software systems. And look up, watch the Bad AI Solution Architecture if you're not sure what I mean by that. But if you're just trying to use AI or large language models directly with the chatbots for data processing, you're leaving 99% of the capabilities on the table. All right, so let's talk about kind of like what I mean by processing data and the kind of things that you can do with data, and some of the important factors. So data extraction, data compression, data expansion, enriching data, data analysis, merging, parsing, filtering. I don't even think this is an exhaustive list. There is a whole laundry list of things that large language models can do very well, especially when you put them within software systems and you know how to control them, you know how to prep the data, and you know how to post-analyze the data. You know, there's like maybe you put it into multi-step systems to where you're breaking it up into multiple parts and handling each part differently. and doing the parts that can be done without AI, and then only leaving the stuff for AI that the AI really thrives at, then you can do all of these things at a very rapid, much less expensive, at new scales that you couldn't do before. These are all incredibly useful. Data extraction is one of my favorite ones that I use in a lot of the use cases, and I'll talk about a couple of case studies here in a second. And then compression is actually quite useful. This is like just summarizing something is actually data compression, while actually keeping the semantic meaning of the text basically the same thing. It doesn't always work out exactly like that, but it can be a very rough estimate in terms of you compare what you fed it originally versus the summary, and the semantic meaning should be almost identical. You can expand this is kind of going the reverse. You can, and it's sort of like related to enriching the data. You can enrich it with the model itself. You can enrich it with the model plus other sources. There's a whole host of ways to enrich the data with LLMs, and then you can just have it analyze it. Especially if you have good, complete data. So part of what's really important for all of this data to use LLMs, the more complete the data sets that you do have, the better. And by completeness, I mean something that probably most other people aren't thinking about, which is, let's say really what it comes down to is having good quality ins and outs. So what would you give to the model and what would you expect out? By having samples of those that are good quality, they don't have to be the best, but not bad quality, are going to enhance all of these. So even a small amount can go a long way, like 100 samples that are human marked up or validated by humans that this, yes, when we put this in and we get this out, that's good. That can make a huge difference. Now, sometimes this data is actually in multiple pieces, so you have like A and B is the in, and then you have C and D for the out. And what I've found with a lot of organizations, they have a lot of A, a lot of B, a lot of C, and none of D, or like D is in like Joe's head. So immediately, one of the most critical things is to start getting that D, and it has to match up. So these need to be connected. The A1, B1, C1, D1 can't just be, oh, we don't know what the D is connected to for C, B, and A. It all needs to be lined up and connected where the in and out are paired together. So the more of that you can have that, especially with analysis, so you have complex data. So for example, I talked to a company where they had sales data that is very complex, very technical selling, and they had unique customer requirements, and then the outputs of like what do they communicate kind of at the first few steps with that potential customer. And there's a lot of analysis of what's going on, and if you have the complete data set, including the analysis, not just the what you actually say, but even like the justification, why you said that. That's another part of the data that would be really good. That it can be incredibly valuable, and you can really ramp up and get a lot of value out of that kind of data. Data merging, this is surprisingly useful. I won't go too much in it. Maybe I'll shoot a whole video on data merging. But there's a lot of good use cases for this. You can parse the data, you can filter the data. I'm gonna move on, but I could shoot videos about just about each one of these all by themselves. Don't forget about completeness. So let me just talk about a few case studies that we have worked on with healthcare metrics. So there's a healthcare metrics project that we've worked on where we delivered a significant amount of automation to a heavily manual process that was very expensive, required lots of skilled people, but also their ability to deliver this data to their customers often took months. And I believe we took that time way down. I know we did. We took it way down in terms of how much time, energy, money, cost, everything to deliver this to their customers and set a new standard at the organization. That's great. Another example was healthcare faxes. We've started this project. We're actually still working on it, and really good initial results where it's not just some of them are handwritten, but it's very unstructured and widely variant in that even if it's not even if it's kind of typed, it's still a fax, and it can sometimes somebody types it and it's at an angle, or the structure of the document, somebody puts the name first, or they put the birthday first, or they put it over to the right, or they put it over the left. There's a whole bunch of, there's no set format for the data. And then sometimes, if you imagine widely variant data, so let's say birth date, there's a bunch of different ways to express that. And AI is really good at handling the variance in the different types of inputs. That's a simple one. There's some that are much more complex, like, for example, a diagnosis. Maybe there's a code. Maybe there's a description. Maybe there's a whole paragraph written on it. And there's a whole bunch of scenarios like that where the data that would be expected in that, let's say, field or what you're trying to extract is widely variant. So if you have a bunch of data that can be better utilized, either getting under leveraged or you're spending a lot of money, time and resources to leverage it, contact us today for a free custom AI implementation roadmap. You can give us a call at this number here, or you can click the link below. If you like this video, please like and leave a comment. If you have any other ideas or disagree or agree or whatever, I'd be happy to hear from you. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.